Let's apply the 7-step process of verb hacking. Okay, we will go very slow because each step is very important for you to digest. Once you understand all the 7 steps, you will be the best in the world. You will be in the top league of verb hackers. Alright? Okay, using this process would enable you to hack any verb except maybe some ill verbs that are quite naughty. Alright? So we will try to hack the first verb here, which is not that easy but not that difficult because there are no ill letters and there are no the mischievous star infix and so on. Alright, so farhabun. Step number 1, what do you do? Okay, there is a P V S O. So based on step number 1, O S V P. Okay. You don't have the paper, right? You may have to. Can someone share? Okay. So you will do your working in a blank paper gitulah. Okay. So that is just a reference point. Okay. So OSVP minus what did I put there? Oh, okay. You know what? You just take mine. So that every one of you has one, so you can write in pencil. Okay, so you have minus O, which is the object. Okay, and where to find this object pronouns? Column 16. Okay, column 16. When we are talking about verbal phrase, the subject and object are referring to pronouns, not nouns. Okay, this is important because sometimes subjects and objects are ordinary nouns, not pronouns. Now we are just talking about pronouns because they happen to be in the verbal phrase. They are attached together. Okay, so first you minus the O and then you minus the subject, which is in columns C12 to C14 depending on the tense, and then you minus the particle, which is in column 7, right? Which is in column 7. Okay, so column 7, can you see a plus V there? Plus V, column 7, not row 7, column 7. Okay, so column 7. So plus V, you have a sa. You see sa there? Sa or lam with a sukun, right? So only these two comes after or before verbs. Okay, but there are also that particles that come before verb, noun or particle, which is number 2 until 6. Number 2 until 6. So the particles for C7 can be row number 2 until 6, can also be row for the sa, it's row number 12 and 13. So the particles that come before the verb can only be from row 2 and row 6 and row 12 to row 13 of column 7. That is how precise, okay, this formula is. And when you have subtracted the OSP, what will you get? You will get the verb lah, right? You will get the verb because we subtracted OSVP. We subtracted OSP from OSVP. And when you have gotten the verb would have how many roots? 3 roots, right? 3 roots. And the particle comes before or after the verb? Before the first root, right? So the particle is here. We minus the particle, so you will need to minus the particle, which is already reflected by a strike through in your paper. And the subject comes before or after the verb? After the verb, subject here, which is minused also, then you wouldn't have the subject. And the object comes after it. You also minus the object. Okay. Now we go through one by one. Okay. The first thing that you need to, you can find either P, S, or O, but the ideal way is for you to hack the object pronoun first. That means you look at the back. You look at the back. What is at the back? You see something at the back? You see a knee, okay? Remember, object, which column? 16. So just look at column 16. Is there any object pronoun there? Okay, that's a knee. There's a knee at row 13, right? Okay, so there's a knee at row 13, which means me or my. Okay, me or my. Okay. So there's a knee here which you will take out. Okay, knee here which you will take out. And then we go to the particle. Is there any particle? Far is the particle. So far goes out. What does far mean? So and n. Okay, so this can be so and can be n. So out. Okay. What can go out? Is there a subject there? Is there a subject there? Okay, can you see waw nuns, waw alif? Right? Okay. This is a new information which I haven't mentioned. Okay. Waw nun and waw alif can also be waw only. Why is that? It's not for hacking reasons, it's for phonetical reasons. Okay? Phonetical reasons. Let me show you this. The actual word for this is Habu ni. What do you see there? Waw alif, right? Waw alif. So this is actually waw alif. Okay. Yes, it can be there, it can be something else because waw alif can mean many things. Okay, now why is the alif disappeared? Why is the alif disappeared? Because it's also sukun, right? It doesn't make any difference whether it's there or not. So it's farhabuni. Without it, it's also farhabuni. Of if you walk off, farhabun, farhabun. It's the same thing. Okay, so that's why you may not notice that there is a subject here. So once you get the subject here, the thing is, you have many waw alifs there, right? Many waw alifs. It can be in the past, it can be in the present, it can be in the command. And that is why you need to hack the verb form, which is step number 2. Step number 2. Okay, but before that, you need to fill in this. Okay, what you have here is, what are the roots? Ra, haba, right? That's the root. Okay, and then it's very exact. You will see a star, right? And then what comes before it is the prefix. What's the prefix here? Alif, right? So alif is the prefix. And you would also need to write the shackles, the strokes, baris. Okay, ra, sukun, ha, fathah. Okay, the last one you can leave it first without putting the stroke. Okay, now when alif doesn't have a stroke, what is the stroke? When we read this, alif has no stroke. Why? In Arabic, because it's called Hamzah Wasal, Hamzah Sambung. Because when it is connected, it doesn't have any strokes. But when it's not, when the fa is out, how do you read this? Irhabu. Okay, that's how you read irhabu, because that ada Hamzah, right? The alif selalu dia weak. It's weak, so it goes down. Kasrah, irhabu. So irhabu. So you would write here irhab. Okay, irhab. And you are done with step number 1. Any questions? Okay. Step number 1 is one of the most important steps. Step number 2 is the most important step. Step number 2, if you get it wrong, you will get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wrong. So you have to pay attention to step number 2, which is not that difficult. Okay? Step number 2 is basically to hack the form of irhab, the target verb. We call this the target verb. You hack the form, which is so straightforward. Okay? It's already written on your paper. That's fa, ain, and lam. Okay? How do you hack a verb? You hack a verb by, number 1, I write the steps for number 2, which is not written there. You may want to write if you want. Step number 1, bring down the prefix. That means the alif goes down, right? So in the blank space there, you write an alif with this. Okay, that's the first step. Okay, step number 2, follow all strokes. Follow all strokes. What does that mean? It's just about dragging and drop. Okay? Drag the kasrah down. Drag the sukun down. Drag the fathah down. And you have got, tada, the verb form. And that is step number 2, which is the most important step of all. All 7 steps are important, but this is the most important step. You get this wrong, you will scramble. Okay? You get this right, you will be happy forever after. Okay. So, when you get this, the next one is so simple, straightforward, is you find the fat. Fat is form, activeness, and tense. What do? You look at form hacker and just find if al. Yes. If al, form number 1.3, activeness. Tense is command, activeness mutual. Okay, it's not active, it's not passive, it's just mutual. Alright, so there's no activeness there. Actually, it's creative. It's called creative because command is to ask someone, so it's not active, it's creative. So you've got the 3 forms done. 4. Until now, any questions? Kak Nursia boleh? Yes. Number 4. What do we need to do for number 4? I don't have my paper here. Convert the verb form to past active. What do you do here? Basically, it's as simple as you take your verb form hacker. Just now, the if al was here, right? Form 3, right? So, convert is go to column number 1. Go back 2 steps. Column number 1. What do you see there? You see fa'ala. Okay? So, when you convert, you go to column point 1. Okay, point 1. This thing you will get from here. It's 1.3. So, you go to 1.1 and you get fa'ala. You get fa'ala. That's it. Senang. It takes more than seconds. It takes minutes. But it's effective. Okay? Number 5. What does it say? Okay. Apply past tense active to target verb. See this target verb? Dia terbalik. It's reverse. Just now, we had the form, we get the form. Now we want to go back. We want to go back. Okay? Why are we doing this? Because in the dictionary, the entries are in past tense. That's why we have to convert. So there's this going to and fro here. So when we change back to the target verb is we just take the root. Okay? We just take the root. This one is fa'ala or fa'ila or fa'ula, right? There are 3. Like I said, form 1 has 3 possibilities. So this one can be rahiba or rahaba or rahuba, depending on the dictionary listing. Okay? Listing. Okay. So so number 5. Okay? Dictionary not yet. So we have to go step by step. Number 5, what does it say? Oh, done. Oh, done. Number 6. Track its meaning by the 2 steps. By the 2 steps. Okay? Step number 1 is the root. So the root is rahaba. Okay? And then, okay, now go to dictionary before we go to step number 2. Find the meaning of rahaba. Fear. Fear. Okay? So when you find the meaning in the dictionary, it means fear. Okay? It means fear. Step 2, you would need, okay, this one is roots, Step 2, you will need to find the PTA. PTA. Okay. This one is not applicable here. Why? Because this verb is three-lettered. PTA here is supposed to, when you find something like just now, nazala becomes anzala, right? So you will need to find nazala first, then you go down to anzala. So that's the process. But because this is already three root, so it's the same. It's the same. We will take a different verb that has a PTA. So this will also be fear. Fear. Okay? So now we go to step number 7, which is, okay, so you apply this meaning that you have gotten based on PTA, not based on this. Okay? Based on this is the same because the PTA is the same. Most usually it will be different. Anyway, you take this one, you apply to the target verb based on the tense. What's the tense? Command. So number 7, you will write the meaning as, what's the command of fear? Fear also, right? Fear also. If you change to past tense, it will be a different thing. So this is fear. But if you change to Malay, it becomes fearlah. Fearlah ataupun takutlah. Okay? So in Malay, rahiba, based on, is it rahiba? I think it's rahiba. So it's takut. When you change, it becomes takutlah. Okay? It becomes takutlah. Okay, once you are done with that, that means you are done with the hacking process. You just need to fill in the blanks for the full meaning of the verbal phrase. And usually, the meaning will start with the particle, and then the subject, and then the object, and then the verb, and then the object, and then the object. Okay? So you just fill in the blanks. What's the meaning of the particle fa? So or an. What's the meaning of the subject wow? Okay, so now just now we said wow alif can happen as past, present, and command. Now that we have gotten command, now we know that this wow alif goes to the meaning can be gotten from column number 14.9. Is it 9? It's not 7, 14.9. It's not 7? Okay, because plural. Okay. So this wow means you all, right? You all ataupun you plural. Yeah, this is just to test whether you are paying attention. Okay. Okay. So what's the meaning of the verb? Fear. Okay, what's the object? Me or my. So, and you all fear me. Right? You all fear me. In Malay, you will be like, dan kamu takutlah aku, and then you may just smoothen it by adding kepadaku. Ta-da! That's how you hack a verbal phrase. To me, that's magic. Syekh Nasruddin, macam? Okay. So, that is the 7-step process. After this, you all will apply the process. Okay? Can work in pairs. And then we go through And then if we have time, we go to the ill verb hacking. Once you are okay with that, that means any verb is very hackable. Okay, we take a break, another short break, 3 minutes.